Welcome to Unknown Theory. In today's video we'll talk about how some Nazi soldiers escaped to South America after World War II. In one of our last videos we talked about World War II and how the Yamashita treasure was stolen, but this video, even though it's related to World War II, is very different. This video has to do with Nazis, Hitler, and the Nuremberg Trials. For those of you who don't know what the Nuremberg Trials is, the Nuremberg Trials were a series of military court sentencings and tribunals held after World War II by the Allied forces to sentence the remaining Nazi war criminals. The trials uncovered the German leadership that supported the Hitler-Nazi dictatorship. Of the 177 defendants, 24 were sentenced to death, 20 to lifelong imprisonment, and 98 other prison sentences. 25 defendants were found not guilty. Many of the prisoners were released early in the 1950s as a result of pardons. But wait, you might ask why there were only 177 Nazi soldiers questioned, when Hitler's army had over 13 million soldiers. Well, obviously a lot died in the war, a lot committed suicide, and many escaped and went missing. The German Red Cross reported in 2005 that the records of the Military Search Service list total Nazi army losses at 4.3 million men. But check this, out of the millions of losses, 3.1 million died, the other 1.2 million were reported missing. So where did all those Nazi soldiers go? Well, if you guys didn't know already, Hitler's empire had everything so planned out to the point that he made friends with some countries in South America, so that the Nazis could have secret hiding bases during and after World War II. Hitler created Operation Bolivar, which was Germany's plans to influence and have activity all across Latin America. If you see the following map, you can see that Germany had influence in literally all of Latin America. But Hitler's strong allies were Argentina, Brazil, Chile and Paraguay, with the main one being Argentina. According to a 2012 article in the Daily Mail, German prosecutors who examined secret files discovered over 9,000 Nazi soldiers and criminals from other countries escaped from Europe to find sanctuary in South American countries. Around 500 to 1,000 Nazis settled in Chile, and Brazil took over 2,000. However, by far the largest number were relocated to Argentina, with over 5,000 Nazis. And how was all this possible, you might ask? Apparently, Hitler had so much influence that the country's presidents and even the Vatican, and International Red Cross helped the Nazi criminals escape Europe. They all helped the German Empire to the point that they all worked together to create escape routes called Ratlines. There were ratlines all over Europe, but there were two main ones that led to South America. The first went from Germany to Spain, then Argentina. The second from Germany to Rome to Genoa, and then to South America. The ratlines were supported by some controversial clergy of the Catholic Church, most notably Alois Hudal and Krunoslav Draganović, and later used by the United States intelligence officers. While reputable scholars unanimously consider Nazi leader Adolf Hitler to have committed suicide in Berlin near the end of the war, various conspiracy theories claim that he survived the war and fled to Argentina. But that's a topic for another video. With all of his connections, leaders who supported Hitler made contact with the Catholic Church so that they let the people in Europe that were persecuted know that they would receive them with open arms. In their attempts to aid Catholic refugees, numerous Vatican officials unwittingly aided in the escape of Nazi war criminals, but some clerics such as Bishop Alois Hudal did so with full knowledge of their actions. Apparently Hudal, an Austrian-born admirer of Hitler who ministered to prisoners of war in Rome, admitted to abetting Nazi war criminals by providing them with false identity documents issued by the Vatican that were then used to obtain passports from the International Red Cross. Many of the Nazis who escaped to South America were never brought to justice. Some of them, like SS Colonel Walter Rauff, who created mobile gas chambers that killed at least 100,000 people, died in Chile. Eduard Roschmann, known as the Butcher of Riga, died peacefully in Paraguay even though he was responsible for the death of over 40,000 people. Gustav Wagner, an SS officer known as the Beast, died in Brazil in 1980 after the country's Supreme Federal Court refused to extradite him to Germany because of inaccuracies in the paperwork. All of these notorious criminals, and much more, were never brought to justice, and there are probably still Nazis in South America. In a future video we will talk about the most notorious high-ranking Nazis that escaped the Nuremberg Trials. Let us know what you think in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.